Hello, everyone. Welcome to GBS. We are back like we never left. I hope that everyone is having a great day, because any day that I can play a game for you guys is going to be a good one. Today's video is going to be a little different because I need to upgrade some weapons in order to do more best-in-class comparisons. I've needed to do it for a while, so instead of dragging you through hours and hours of repetitive shipment gameplay, I would like to speak on some of the things going on within the Call of Duty community, and specifically touch on some of the comparisons and happenings with past, present, and future Call of Duty titles. So Activision is spamming the remake button yet again with another reproduction that nobody really asked for by the way of a remade Modern Warfare 3. And I get it. I understand why it worked last time with Modern Warfare 2. So why not do it again? Taking old games that did well and then creating a new game, beefing up the story, and raking in cash from an unfinished game at launch seems to be the motion. In just 10 days, the latest Modern Warfare 2 made $1 billion in sales. And from my memory, although Modern Warfare 3 was decent, it wasn't Modern Warfare 1 or Modern Warfare 2 phenomenal. The campaign was alright. The first mission was obviously well done. And finally, killing Makarov at the end was satisfying enough, I guess. But everything else in between was remarkably forgettable, except for the Mile High mission. That was amazing. The multiplayer experience was alright too, but if we're being honest, the only truly memorable thing about multiplayer is Dome. If you're like me and haven't touched Modern Warfare 3 since it came out, then Dome is going to be your fondest recollection. When Infinity Ward developed Modern Warfare in 2019, I didn't know that it would lay the bricks for what was to come next. I guess that it's a safe assumption that what we're going to get from the Modern Warfare 3 remake is just going to fall in line with what we get from the latest Modern Warfare 2. And with everything pouring back into the OG Modern Warfare 2, I want to pull the veil on what's happening first and explain why this might crash and burn from a fan's perspective, because there's a little bit to unpack here. We know why this is being done. The company wants to collect banknotes like dog tags and kill confirmed. I mean, who can blame them? The demand is clearly there. Infinity Ward and Activision did an incredible job with marketing yet again. So are we going to act surprised when we get another buggy game at launch? Are we going to pretend to be shocked when we're constantly stuck cycling the same 10 maps for regular game modes like Team Deathmatch? I'm not even sure if we got 10 at the beginning. I remember saying this in an earlier video, but it seemed like I was constantly playing one of what felt like only 4 or 5 maps. Just the pure amount of microtransactions among games in general nowadays is ridiculous, but it's especially apparent in the last Modern Warfare 2. Every time that you open the game, they're jamming yet another microtransaction down your throat again and again and again. In between matches, they're just blasting you with stuff to buy, things to purchase, something to spend money on, and a lot of times it's crap that's either not worth spending as much as they ask for, or it should be something that you should just unlock like everyone else. I stepped away from Call of Duty for just a few months, and now when I go to create classes, half the guns are locked unless I just want to buy them from the store. The beauty of the original Modern Warfare 2 though was that you didn't have that option. You just had to be good, plain and simple. Back then, being prestige actually meant something. In school, we used to brag and not believe each other when we said we were prestige. Now you can buy the purple pony gun that spits fireworks and turns you into pixie crack, and voila, you're on your way to prestige in no time. It really sucks being constantly pressured to spend money on a game that I thought I already paid money for. I mean, I know that Bible DLCs have always been a thing, but at least everybody got the base stuff outright, and grinding was the only way to get them. And don't get me wrong, some of the Bible stuff is pretty cool, but now that you could just buy them, ranking up feels kind of pointless. It changes the overall flavor of the game and keeps it from feeling like the Modern Warfare 2 of old, which many of us fell in love with as kids. It feels like a new game with the old Modern Warfare skin on it. And speaking of skin, another reason why the old Modern Warfare 2 is getting so much new traffic despite nothing being fixed or changed besides the servers is that Modern Warfare has a very specific and nostalgic component. The characters and story of Modern Warfare have yet to be matched by any other Call of Duty title, in my opinion, and it's easy to see why. It stems from the campaign and the attachment that fans have with it. The campaign from the latest Modern Warfare 2 is just another example of a new game wearing Modern Warfare 2's skin. I mean, Gaz, his skin changed completely. He's a whole different race now. I'm not complaining about it, but I just don't know why. General Shepard has a completely different face. I love him in the game, but it's not the one that I know. The new Modern Warfare 2 campaign was electric. I enjoyed it, and the visuals were amazing. They were stunning, but it will never have the replayability of the original Modern Warfare 2 for one reason. We already have a winner. The original Modern Warfare 2 campaign will always be championed over the new one, and thus the new one will have to settle for being remembered as little more than a muddled rendition in a universe far, far away from the first one. It's second place. There were glimmers of Modern Warfare days gone by in the opening weeks of this Modern Warfare 2's launch. People actually spoke in the lobby, which was almost a given in any OG Modern Warfare 2 map or game mode. I'm sad that this faded over time because it would have been really useful while participating in a lot of the good things that I love about this Modern Warfare 2. And don't get me wrong, there are things that I love about this Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone. The inclusion of team tactical game modes like Prisoner Rescue are fantastic additions to a game like Modern Warfare 2, especially with the detect and mounting capabilities that are incorporated within the game. I think that it's a concept that leans heavily on player communication, which just isn't as reliable anymore in Call of Duty. I'm not saying that it's completely mute now, but personally I can hit 4 or 5 games of quad on Warzone where none of my teammates will say anything. Everyone just goes on their own quest from the rip, which makes it so much easier to win just by speaking to one another every now and then. 2009 was also a different time in general. Everybody was liable to say anything at any time, and that's just what you could squeeze in at the end of a game of free-for-all. Imagine if the 2009 Call of Duty community had what we have now. But we, the 2009 community, are aging, and with age comes change and eventually the longing for something new. There will come a time and a day when Call of Duty has to face the music and be creative again, or as creative as they once were. I think we're starting to see the beginning of this now with everything going back to the original Modern Warfare 2. And it's not just because Modern Warfare 2 was that amazing. We can see the game getting older and how bare bones it is compared to the one we have now, which some people may prefer, I don't know. But I think what we really miss are the intangibles that came with it. We miss a story where everything was built from the ground up, no remix, no remake, just pure, captivating levels of care and creativity throughout. We miss not being badgered with what are essentially ads in a product that we already purchased. We miss the old Call of Duty. Hopefully Modern Warfare 3 offers a much needed breath of fresh air, but I'm not entirely confident that it will. I grew up with Call of Duty. I am a massive fan and I want to see the brand flourish like everybody else, but I can't help but wonder if this is a great time for a new developer to come in and just bombshell the market. Gaming has evolved to a level that I couldn't even imagine when I first gripped the controller of my PS1 in the early 2000s. We started with Crash Bandicoot and Treasure Planet, but look at where we are now. I'm talking leaps and bounds from where I remember many of our first gaming experiences. If someone new came in and dominated the market the way that Battlefield almost did, then it would be the end of Call of Duty if all they do is create more remakes. Iron sharpens iron, and fresh competition might be exactly what the doctor ordered if we want to see Activision kick it back into high gear, or at least a higher gear. I highly doubt that Activision will ever see a video of mine one day, but if they do, this would be my list of recommendations. The first one, release games that are ready to go out of the box. I understand that bugs happen with any game and that with a game of this scale, any problem is going to be amplified by a million, but the game should feel more complete than it did this time around. There weren't enough maps, and one of them just had explosive cars strewn all the way down a narrow canal. We can do better. The second is make everything a grind, at least at first. Allow us to enjoy the game without having your hand out right away. If I remember correctly, the store has pretty much always been a thing since the game came out. I love the idea of a store. I personally wouldn't mind spending in it, but does it really have to be this aggressive? For the sake of the game, don't offer too much too soon. And even though we've got the ball rolling, it doesn't feel that great to be bombarded with advertisements for in-game purchases every single time that I open the game and in between matches. It sucks knowing that all I have to do to get a gun is buy it. The feeling of accomplishment just dies when you know that what you have could have just been bought. The biggest example of what right looks like is something like the Hayabusa armor from Halo 3. Everybody loved that because if you saw the Hayabusa armor, it was because somebody earned it or you earned it. Doing that added to the timelessness and sentimental value of that particular game. The Orion camo is what an example of right looks like as well. To date, I don't think it's available in the store, but if I'm wrong, please let me know. The third recommendation is to be original again. I understand that this hasn't always worked out in the past, so there may be a bit of hesitation, but fortune still favors the bold. Remixing what worked is just a temporary means of playing it safe. Be confident in your track record of producing amazing games and come up with a new story, new characters, a brand new universe from the bottom up. The fans will always appreciate the effort, even if the execution isn't quite right. Because if we're already flocking back to the original Modern Warfare 2 now, then it's almost a matter of time before the next remix is a mega flop. I know it sounds like I'm hounding Infinity Ward and Activision about all of their shortcomings, but I want to speak positively about them and say this. I actually love this Modern Warfare 2. Personally, I do. This is after I was disenchanted by Cold War and skipped the Modern Warfare remake in 2019. I'm genuinely enjoying the game despite its flaws, and I can tell that the developers are listening to fans and attempting to do better. When this Modern Warfare 2 came out, there were rumors that a different game would be dropped within this game at the full cost of what a new title would be. Basically, it would be Gameception, but at a hefty price. I'm not sure if this is still on the horizon. I hope it's not, especially with the emergence of evidence that there's going to be a Modern Warfare 3 remix, but it hasn't happened yet, and I hope that this was either scrapped or nothing but a rumor. Yesterday, while grinding the Lockman guns, I was asked to take a survey about the time to kill within the game. This right here is plain evidence that the devs want our input and are interested enough to ask, which can only lead to great things so long as we, the fan base, remain entirely honest. This is just my take on what's going on within Call of Duty. I'm personally excited for what's next. I'd rather keep my hopes up because that's what I did as a kid. If you have anything that you would like to add, please comment. Remember to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Thank you to the people. We are out.